Hi everyone, my name is Miss Jess and today we are going to draw a question block with a surprise. Ta-da! Let's get right into it. I am so excited to create this with you today. The first thing that we're going to need is a piece of paper. I just have regular printer paper here, but you can use any kind of paper that you have available. The first thing we're going to do is our folds. So you're going to want to place your paper the tall way, so it's going to be taller than it is wide. Next, we're going to pull the very top edge down until it meets the bottom edge. Line it up and make a fold. I like to press along the fold a few times to make sure that it's really a nice crease. There you go. Now we should have an edge down here and then a second edge below it. Take the top and then bring that edge up to the top fold and make another fold. So what you should have now is a fold on the top, fold in the middle. The bottom half of the paper is unfolded, and you've got a double fold here. Okay, once you've got that, we are good to move on to the next step. What we're going to do is make a box first, and we're going to do that when our paper is folded. And I really like to use a Sharpie on my drawings, but because I have this fold here, and I'm afraid I might bleed through, I'm going to use a pencil just for this step. Then I will go over it with my marker afterwards. So the first thing we're going to do is create a box. You can make this box bigger or smaller. I'm going to try to make mine really big today. Of course, you can only make it as big as your paper. You can try to make it bigger. Okay, I've created a box shape. There we go. And then we're going to draw a question mark on it as well. Now I start by making just a regular question mark, and then I'm going to turn it into a block question mark, meaning it's bigger, thicker, by drawing another smaller one on the inside of it. Now, if instead of drawing a smaller one on the inside of it, you want to draw a larger one around it, if your first one was a bit small, you could do that too. So I'm drawing a smaller one inside. You could also draw a larger one outside. And then I'm going to close the ends together and turn my dot into a bigger spot. There we go. You could also make this bigger and bigger and bigger until it's just how you like it. I'm going to put a spot in each corner as well because the style of question box that I am creating is just going to have these simple spots at the corners. You can take inspiration from any style of question block that you like and even create your own new style of question block if you want yours to be a little bit different. That is fine. Okay, I'm going to set my pencil aside for now because I'm going to outline my question block. First thing I'm going to do is move the top part of my paper out of the way, and you can see I have an unfinished half of a question block. I'm going to go around and get all of those edges colored with my marker. Also my spots on the corners and my question mark. Of course, it's only half of a question mark right now. I'm going to leave it empty and not color it in right now because maybe I'll want to leave that a white question mark today. But if you want to make it black, you could color it in. All right, now I'm going to pull my paper down, unfold it, and now I've got the top half and I'm going to outline it opened up like this. And again, the reason that I'm opening it to outline it is so that I don't bleed through onto the next fold. Okay, there we go. Great. Now, if you have some extra pencil lines like I do, then you can take a moment to erase those if need be. There we go. Now, after you're outlining, fold it back together just to double check and make sure that all of the lines line up pretty well. That looks good enough for me. Great. Now what we're going to do is create the surprise that's inside our question block. So when we open up our paper, we can see the seam here. Everything inside of this area is hidden when it's closed. And also everything from the middle line here to where we left off with our question block here, the missing area part, everything in between those two spots is our hidden area, our hidden part of our paper. That means that anything we want to hide has to fit inside this space. We don't want it to cross over that line or we'll be able to see it when it's closed. So even though there's not a fold down here, we can see we don't want to go past this area. So we're going to work right around this center seam. Now I'm going to make a mushroom, but you are welcome to make a different sort of power up if you want to draw something else inside of your question block. Maybe you want to follow along with me and make a mushroom, but then make a second one that contains a fire flower or something like that. That's totally fine if you want to make yours different. I'll show you how I make a cute little super mushroom or one-up mushroom or whatever kind of little mushroom power-up you'd like to make. Now, here's how I start. First, for the face, I'm going to start right around this seam here. I'm going to make a bowl shape. I'm making mine a little bit crooked because I want it to be slightly tilted, like it's just popping out of the question block. So I've created a bowl shape that is tilted ever so slightly. Now we're going to put a lid on our little bowl. This lid is going to have a slight curve and it's going to extend from one side to the other. You can see there's a little gap there. If you end up with a little gap, then just close it up by extending the line. Great. Now we're going to make the mushroom head part, which is going to go from one side of the bowl shape, curving out, up and around, and then down and back into the other side. The mushrooms have spots on them. We're going to make one big spot at the center of the head, and then a spot on each side that we can't see fully. You can see that it's kind of hiding on the side edges because it's wrapped around the side of the head, like you can see on my little mushroom plushie here. Now he has something that we don't have yet, eyes. So let's add his eyes. He's going to have two oval shaped eyes. And then I always like to add highlight spots to my mushroom's eyes. Make a circle in the top of each eye before you color it in. And then leave those circles at the top white. These circles are highlight spots. They are where the light is reflecting in the eye, and I think that it makes them look even cuter with those little spots. Okay, we've got a mushroom. Now let's check our picture. Question block, mushroom! That's awesome. So now that we've got our mushroom in here, we can add any other sort of elements that we want to our picture. If you take a look at this sample that I made, I went ahead and created kind of an explosion kind of look around it. You could do something like that too. You could add stars, you could add streamers, you could add these puffs of smoke or anything at all that you'd like to. You could even make 10 little mushrooms or 10 different power-ups. You could put in some little fire flowers or ice flowers, and that would be so much fun. Another thing that I added to my boxes here is an edge that almost looks like it's been torn. And how I did that, I will show you. I extended the line of my box to come down and out past the seam on each side. And then I made a choppy little edge to make it look almost like it broke, like it got ripped. And I did that here as well. You could definitely do this exact same thing, or you could think of another way to finish the edges of your boxes in a way that won't be visible when you close it up, but when you open it, it makes it look finished and clean. Now, after you've added that edge, you'll have a little space where your question mark is not showing. And if you want to, you can just draw a little bit more of that question mark to make it just look like it's meant to be. All right, so let's take a look at this one again. You can tell that I created a 1-up. You can tell by the color, right? So if you wanted to make a super mushroom, like my little stuffy friend here, then you would color him in red instead of green. Or you could make a different kind of mushroom. You could make a poison mushroom. You could make a mini mushroom. You could make a mega mushroom. There are so many mushrooms in the Mario universe that you could choose from. I hope that you have fun creating the inside of your surprise drawing, and I can't wait to draw with you again soon. Surprise! I hope you will share your art with all of your friends and family, and you can even share them with me with help from your parents. You can share your picture with me through social media if you would like to. I love to see what you come up with and how creative you are. Well, I hope that you'll join me for another drawing very soon. I hope you'll keep drawing and keep being creative. And I just want to say thank you for drawing with me. Bye-bye.